Alright guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the look at the economy, auction house and the gathering and crafting skills in Final Fantasy. How you guys going? That camera was a bit off there. Anyway, so in my last video what we looked at was the gathering. So mining, obviously logging, or botany as it's called, works the same way. But mining has obviously got a good synergy with blacksmithing, and blacksmithing is my highest level craft at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our blacksmith out and we're going to look at what we can do with all that fantastic, delightful iron ore that we got. So sitting on a stack of 99 and 26 high quality iron ore. In the last episode I took you quickly through the auction house. So at the moment, if we just type in here, so at the moment there's 44 different people selling iron ore, prices roughly around 40 gil. People have been undercutting pretty badly actually, but roughly around 40 gil per piece. So I mean we could take that and turn it into maybe 6,000 gil, considering that the high quality stuff we're going to charge about triple for. Now iron ingots, however, so keep that number in mind, 40 gil. If we look at iron ingots, now they basically, these few people here have severely undercut the market. So we can see typically 200 gil is a good sell price for iron ingots. Since it takes 3 iron ore to make one iron ingot, at about 40 gil each, that means it's about 120 gil to make one ingot, and we can actually sell them for 200 gil. We get 195 gil after tax, but that's still a profit, and it's still something that can be worth doing. It's a little bit tricky at the moment when the server is still fluctuating, so it's dangerous right now, but there's also an opportunity to make a whole lot of money if you can get and find a niche before anyone else does, make your money and then move on before, as you can see with the iron market has crashed because too many people are in it. To get some further evidence, if we look over here, so this second button here, history, this will actually show you, this is unique, I don't see this in many games. It was in Final Fantasy XI, but it certainly wasn't in Rift or WoW. This will actually show you the history of sales. So some important things to note here is the price, obviously, but very important is the time. So what we can see here is that today, so we're at the end of the day almost, and today there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sales. This one here, most recent one, was someone bought that off me, and because I listed mine at 300 gil last night before the market crashed, and I was not expecting to sell it, but he bought it because it was convenient. It looks like he needed 31, bought one for 350. That was probably the cheapest stack of one ore he could find, and then he just clicked on mine because he was lazy. Great. But you can sort of see that the market actually bore pretty easily 200 gil, 250 gil, so the people that marked down to 100 probably wasn't necessary, except for the fact that in one day 10 stacks sell. So I guess you've got to take into account the size of the stacks as well. But then these people are trying to slog off discount batches for 99 lots. People seem to be using closer to 10 or 20 in their stacks. So if we look down here, 10, 20, yeah, so that's where you want to be hitting. So there doesn't seem to be a lot of point in flooding the market with that stacks of 99 because it's just too many for what people need. Stick down to the 10. Now what we can also do is advanced search, HQ items only, search, and looky, we've gone from around 250 gil to basically we could probably sell for 1,000 gil each. If we look at the history for this, which was actually up already, so if we look for the HQ, because unfortunately we can't filter this, so there's been one sold today of HQ, so it might not be incredibly profitable, but in saying that, if we can find the right price, because what that might mean is that these prices are too high, and if we just sell for 500, which is what we sold for here, or not, we didn't sell, but someone sold it for 500 here, maybe that's the right price. Maybe that's what the market will bear, and it doesn't cost us anything extra to make a high quality item, so we might as well try for it and see what we get. Because if we can if we sell 10 lots or 20 ore, 20 ingots that are high quality, that's going to make us 10,000 gil, which is already about just under double what we would get for the entire stack of normal quality. So that's kind of my take on the very, very basic introduction to, I guess, the economy in this game. It's very similar to Final Fantasy XI in... oh, actually there's one other thing I'll show you guys before we start with the crafting. Another unique item is that if we were to look at, say... let's look at Gladiator's Arms. Let's go up to... Oops. Let's go up to level 30. And let's hit search. We can actually see all the items. So we can actually see items that are not currently for sale. So for example, let's use the iron short sword. There's none on the market, so we know if we put up a short sword, we've got no competition. We can go into the history, and in the history we can see that they've sold for between 3,000 gil to 750 gil. And we can also see that they seem to sell okay. So 2 in 1 day means there's probably a big demand. Or not a big demand, but a demand, so it might be worth throwing up one and listing it for maybe 2,500 gil, because they're pretty cheap to make actually. So we can actually go on to the auction house and we can find these niches. So my alchemist is really low level, so that's why I only come up with level 1 items, which is probably not going to be a good example. But if we go up to level 20, iron mortar, no items on there. Go into the advanced, oops, not the advanced, sorry, the history. And one's sold for 300, not a really good population, like not a good sample there, so we might try and sell it for 1,000 gil, because it's a level 20 item and 1,000 gil shouldn't be too much. But you get the idea, you can actually search and find your own niche. So, you know, you might go to lumber and list just all the lumber and cedar. There's none on the market. How much is it sold for? That's probably high level stuff that no one's got to yet. Let's have a look at willow. Let's see if we can find a niche. No, it doesn't look like it's happening. One more try. Just bad luck. Anyway, you get the idea. It works. Once the game's established and with a running economy, you'll find that it's a bit easier to find those sort of things. At the moment, it's a bit of a pioneer stage where the first people to get to some of those items are going to be able to set the market, and they'll make a whole lot of money until people figure out how to do it themselves and where the good spots are. But alright, crafting. Now, crafting is... let's have a look at our character menu. So crafting has 2 major attributes. Your craftsmanship skill, so at the moment I've got 109 in craftsmanship, and your control skill, which is at 91. As it says in the tooltip, craftsmanship is how much each step in your synthesis can affect progress. Control is how much each step in your synthesis can progress quality, and quality affects how often you get high quality results. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make an iron ingot, just to show you the system. So my crafting log's down there. I've got it on my hotbar, so I just click that, open it, and I can select a recipe. And so here we have the recipe. So it automatically uses your items. So you can see, if I go back to my status, that it removes a fire shard and 3 chunks of iron ore. Now to correctly make the iron ingot, we need to get 31 progress, and it will make a standard ingot, no problems, no chance of failure as long as we hit that number. And our current chance of having a high quality item is 1%, so 1 in every 100 is going to be a high quality, not too good. Our durability is 40 out of 40, so it's got a cap of 40, and if that goes to 0, we'll actually fail. So down here we've got our basic synthesis and our standard touch. They're the 2 things we'll look at first. Basic synthesis will basically increase the progress and help us complete the recipe successfully, and standard touch will help us to increase the quality and get a better result with a high in terms of HQing an item. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with standard touch. Now you can see the condition is normal at the moment, so that's fine. Now you see that number 83, that got added here, and that's the cap. So 800, if we get to 866, that means we've definitely got a guaranteed high quality item. But quite there yet. So we've used one of our 10 of our durability, but let's go on, let's hit it again. So now the condition is excellent. That means, so you can see it's been 83 each quality hit. That means if I do it again and I'm successful, it's going to give me a pretty big bonus. So let's do that. There you go, 335. So we've shot up to a 17% chance. Now, from this point on, what you're going to notice is that it's going to go up faster. So from 17 to halfway, or from 0 to halfway on quality, we've got 17%. The next 50% of that quality bar is actually going to take us up to 100% high quality. So this is where it really, really counts. But if we do that again, if we do that standard touch again, it's going to break our iron ingot. So we're going to do Master's Mend, which restores 30 durability, and it lets us work on the item a little bit longer before it breaks, while still being able to get progress. Now, what you might have noticed is here my crafting points, or CP, has been going down. I've only got 120 left. Every time I use Standard Touch, it uses 32. I'm about to use Master's Mend, which uses 92. So that means that, well, I might be done actually. So let's go and use that. And there we go, Standard Touch is no longer available to me. Right, let's see. What I can do is a Basic Touch instead, which is 18. So this is a higher level skill, which has a success rate slightly lower than a Standard Touch, but it is cheaper as well. But we can't do that again anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and complete this. So Standard Touch did 27 out of 31. So give that one more hit, and we're golden. And I was unsuccessful in getting a high quality ingot. That's too bad, too bad, too bad. Now, that part of that is because iron ingots are a level 16, and I'm trying to HQ things as a level 18, so I haven't exactly over leveled it, so it's still kind of tough. But there are other things I can do to give myself an advantage. One of those things is to use high quality ingredients. So if I hit this arrow here, you can see normal quality materials has gone down, HQ has gone up. So I'm going to start with my quality bar half full. So let's go and hit continue on there. There you go, 15% chance straight off the bat. Now, let's think about this a little bit more. What I can do is I've got these other skills that I can use. So for example, Inner Quiet will get a bonus to control. We don't really... here we go. Steady Hand increases action success rate by 20% for the next 5 steps. So let's go ahead and hit that. Now if we use the Basic Touch, which increases quality with a success rate of 70%, that's actually going to be 90% now. So let's use that a few times because that's going to be cheaper than using the other one. Now we're at good quality, so it's going to be a bonus. There you go, we got 100 out of that. Back to normal quality. Let's give it one more shot. Fantastic, we're looking pretty good so far. So let's do the Master's Mend to get the durability back up to 40. And with 48, we have a few more of these Basic Touches left. Oh, we're looking good, and it's in good status. So let's go ahead and do one more, and hopefully we get this one. Beautiful. Okay, we didn't quite make it to the cap, but we've now got a 92% chance of a high quality item. So let's go ahead and use our normal synthesis to finish this off. Now if you do get to 0 durability at the same time you reach the number, you're all good. And there we go, we just got a high quality ingot. So as you can see, these skills really make the difference between your crafting, and you know, just changing my tactics there was able to get myself a high quality ingot by using better quality ingredients, changing up the way I used my skills, because I had not used this skill before because I only just recently unlocked it. That was from another class, so that's actually a cross-class ability. So if we go here into our panel, we'll be able to see that actually no, sorry, it's not a cross-class one, it's just one I wasn't using properly. There we go. But yeah, so now I can basically work on that entire stack, see how many I can get to be high quality ingots, and then list them on the market and profit. So I hope that made sense. I hope that was useful info for you guys. To me it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy the crafting in this game, and really love even the gathering is quite fun. So what I might do is leave it there. That's probably enough. And at the moment I'm toying with the idea of doing a introductory tanking video, so how to basically run as a gladiator in the initial dungeons, and what you should be doing in terms of, well, not what you should be doing, that's probably a bad way to put it, but looking at how hate works in this game and how tanking works. It's pretty similar to most games, no surprises, but yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to check out more, make sure you subscribe, and thank you for watching. Jenna.